Meghan Markle, whale puke, and Burger King has to apologize to women. All of this and more on The Morning Laugh.
Hey, let's party like it's 1989 and I have yet to be alive. Okay, this is going to be a fantastic morning. I'm going to introduce my guys to you. We've got Brian Kahatsu all the way from somewhere in Arizona, followed by Mike James, also in Arizona. I don't stalk these people. And lastly, we've got Josh Novi, alive and well. What's up, people?
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's funny because we're like, how could that intro get any more depressing? And then you're like, I have yet to be alive.
Yeah, but it's a good morning, you know?
It is a good morning.
You could say anything and say, but it's a good morning. And it really kind of changes everybody's perspective.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You could be like, I just watched a bird die today, but it's a good morning. And I'm like, wow.
Well, not good
Day
for the
37 of the armor of the apocalypse, but it's a good morning.
It's a good morning. That's how every radio show, every morning show starts.
Beautiful
Listen,
morning
guys.
outside as the zombie apocalypse has happened. My mother-in-law was eating this morning, but guys, I got to tell you, my coffee is brewing and I feel great. What's up, guys? Give us a call on Zombie Apocalypse, 1-800-THE-ZOM.
Morning radio shows always do that. And they also have to tell you that it's 5 till anything. They have to say that. It's either 5 till or 5 after. And there's a need for them to do that.
Thanks a lot, syndication. It's quarter after the hour.
Of the hour, come on up. Chris becomes a zombie.
But it's a good morning. It is a good one. Listen, we'll talk into the trending stuff. I've got a generational game for us. We've got all that stuff and a meme. But before we do, let's reunite because it's been a week.
I think that's the elephant in the room. How are you, Chris? I mean, we've heard various reports through the news and various media outlets of your well-being. You were gone last week. Are you okay?
No, it turns out I'm not. I had
so we were right.
Last week I had pneumonia.
Yeah.
Turns out that's not true. I was misdiagnosed.
What? Wait, whoa. A doctor misdiagnosed you?
No, that's a strong word. She's a really great doctor. She didn't misdiagnose me.
She just diagnosed you incorrectly.
She was just wrong.
and I don't think she likes being called misdiagnosis.
Well, she said there's a chance it's not pneumonia, and we'll find that out this week. And I said, okay,
listen,
great.
We're gonna have to amputate your leg. There's a chance we don't, but
yeah. So here's the deal. I started taking antibiotics for the pneumonia, and it wasn't helping. And so I called the doctor. I said, I'm not getting better, and I kind of developed a rash on my neck and legs and arms and stuff. So turns out I have valley fever.
When you said rash, I was like, that's it.
Really?
Welcome to my club, Chris.
You've had
Ryan had valley fever.
I have dealt with it for the last 3 years, my friend, and I think it's
I think valley fever is very much like the Marines. Once you have it, you don't ever not have it. Seriously? That's my theory, because it seems like everybody I know that's had it, the 2 people, well, 3 now, it seems like it's never like completely gone. So Brian, I mean, maybe you can enlighten us, but you had it, but it seemed like it's still kind of like something you have to deal with.
Corey McCloskey, by the way, chiming in. Please, more hot pneumonia talk. Well,
Always.
Brace yourself, Corey.
So for people that don't live in the Phoenix area, can you tell them what valley fever is?
Yes, it's when you are super excited. It's just you're like worked up into a frenzy about being in the valley.
Like, you know how in the South they get the vapors? We get the valley fever.
Do you remember Beatlemania?
It's just like that.
It's like I'm a box.
So it's like I'm going to probably botch this because I stopped researching after a while, but it's like a bacterial spore that's in our dirt, and then it will get into your lungs and it'll sit there. Most people that live in Arizona for a long period of time have it, but it never does anything. So very few people it actually activates, and then you will get a hacking cough and sometimes a rash. And but usually, like, if you don't medicate it, it can go 45 days maybe at the longest.
I like some people activate it like it's a cell. It's a sleeper cell, and all of a sudden you're called into action.
That works. Go Valley Fever. Yeah. No, but I will say this, Chris,
Valley Fever, activate.
Chris, what's going to happen is that you're going to be fine.
Okay. Good.
Some people it does get real. I have a really bad case of it, but I've just gotten over mine supposedly again. So we'll see what happens. But mine got really bad. I have not that everybody cares, and we'll wrap this up quickly on me, but I have this nodule on in my lung, which is true. I've seen it from that, but it's shrunk to the point where there's nothing anymore.
I don't want to scare you, but my father-in-law had valley fever, and now he has dementia. So,
oh no,
I'm not saying they're related, but
I didn't mean to laugh at that, but you can connect that with anything. I don't want to scare you. But my great-grandfather had valley fever, and now he's bankrupt. It can happen.
I will tell you this, guys. This is important, though. Do you remember when we had that dolphin thing here in Arizona? Because, Arizona being a desert, we need a place to go see dolphins.
Oh, right.
And the dolphins were dying. They suspect it was valley fever. So, Chris, as far as I medically know, because I'm not a doctor, you're not a dolphin, right?
No.
Okay, so you're fine. You're fine.
Medically.
It turns out it wasn't valley fever. It's just that they needed water, apparently.
Yeah.
Corey McCloskey, once again, wait, Chris is dying. Why am I sending them in money then?
Corey, that's just between us. All right.
Yeah. Is everyone else feeling okay? Brian, how are you feeling?
I'm good. I've had Chris, if they put you on the same meds at me, you'll start losing your hair. Other than that, you're fine. Anyway, yeah. We'll talk after the show.
That's why he's wearing a beanie. That's
yeah. This is all the hair I have left right here.
What? No.
Yeah.
Stop it.
There's medication they'll put if they put you on it.
I need to explain something.
Whatever it is, they said it's a little rough on your liver. Do you know?
I need to explain one thing real quick. Corey McCloskey, who's chimed in a few times, he used to do shows with Brian and I. He's and during those shows, we couldn't give each other a light to figure out how much time each person would do. So in the backstage, when we decided, that's time, we came up with a system of literally yelling from backstage, "Caca!" And that was your indication that it was time. Anyway, we did that this last week with Josh
because we're professionals.
Oh yeah, the show.
Right. Yeah, we had a show.
We had a great show
that Chris missed out on because he was fake sick.
I thought I had pneumonia.
pretending to have pneumonia over here, Mr. GoFundMe.
Fake pneummonia.
Mr. GoFundMe. Are you going to return all the money that everybody sent in, Chris?
No, keep it. I keep it because it just kind of changes direction. We just pivot very quickly. I heard it was packed too. Didn't you guys say somebody said that there was a lot of people there?
Yeah, it was very well attended. I wouldn't say it was packed. It was their first live event back since they haven't been doing them for the pandemic that has been happening this year. For those of you listening in the future, there was a pandemic this year and it impacted attendance. But we did better than she expected.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, I had 2 shows this week and I had 3 shows. I had canceled them all because honestly, this was, I didn't realize what I had, but this was a terrible sickness for me. So I'm glad everything went well.
It was fun. So here's the kicker though. So we had this contract with this company to do the show, and we did the show. Brian and I had done this show along with Corey 5 years ago, I think, or 4 or 5 years ago, and it did not go well. There were several things that impacted the success of the show, but it didn't go great. It was okay, but it wasn't great. But it was the first negative review we'd gotten ever from doing any of these shows. And so this time we did it and the show went great. So I thought, all right, we redeemed ourselves. And the activities director came up to me afterwards and said, so what am I supposed to do for the next half hour? And I looked at her, I said, well, we were supposed to do 90 minutes. We did 90 minutes. She goes, you were going to do 2 hours and there were supposed to be 4 of you. And I said, It's my fault. Apparently, we had discussed the contract said 90 minutes. That was all written out, but apparently we had discussed 2 hours, and I didn't have that in my notes. So anyway, we shorted them a half an hour.
Guys, I think Mike might have valley fever. He doesn't remember.
Here's the thing. Sorry. Go ahead, Josh.
I'm just saying he doesn't remember anything because his memory's going. He's got valley fever. So
that's true.
Yeah,
that's the first step to dementia.
You guys have the right and the privilege, if you ever want to. You can just dress up as me and do 20 minutes of my material.
Oh my gosh, I have a fake red beard in the car too, and I didn't even think to use it.
Yeah, but it's just I want to do your material, Chris, but like Jerry Seinfeld was already doing his, so I can't.
Thanks, appreciate it. For those of you watching, I am constantly bullied that I apparently get into a Jerry Seinfeld in the middle of my set. I just get into the whole. I don't say anything that Jerry says. I just get.
I don't say anything.
It's not the material. It's sometimes it just sounds Seinfeld-esque.
I don't know.
What's the deal?
You have.
What's funny is I couldn't even do a Jerry Seinfeld impression if you ask me.
Let's hear you try.
What's the deal with?
You have what scientists called as Seinfeldisms that happen. They just you never know when they're going to pop out. It's like Seinfeld Tourette's.
Let's get into the trending topics of
finally
lore.
The show started.
Do we have a little graphic for trending or no? We don't. For some reason, I thought we did.
Let's see for trending. What do you want? I can give you something.
Do you have a spinning newspaper and a da-da-da-da-da?
Yeah, well, we stopped using it.
Last second.
So okay. We stopped using it, so I stopped using it.
And now, trending topics. Okay, here we go.
Perfect. Oh,
there we go. There's the
yeah.
Trending now.
Wow. Look at our graphic department. Give it up for our graphic department.
Wow.
Boom. That's fantastic. Before we get into Meghan Markle, as everybody has been tweeting, Instagramming, and everything like that, I want to talk quickly because I have a hate relationship with Burger King. And so I find every opportunity to expose their ridiculousness. They recently apologized on International Women's Day because they tried to make a post to bait people into reading more of their International Women's Day thing, and it blew up in their face. They had to apologize for it. Absolutely hilarious. They made a tweet that said, "Women belong in the kitchen." That was the first tweet that they said. And then they, you know how on Twitter you can kind of like reply to your own self and kind of keep going on a thread. So they wrote, "Women belong in the kitchen." And then the next thing they wrote is, "If they want to, of course, because only 20% of women are actual chefs." And so they ended up promoting this hilarious, like, it's not hilarious. They ended up promoting this thing where it's like they're trying to get more women to like make food or something at Burger King. But because they started off by saying women belong in the kitchen, people couldn't get past it. And they started to get really upset. So hilarious.
You know how you ladies can break the glass ceiling is come work at the fast food joint over here. That's what you ladies belong.
Well,
this is funny to me because it's like posting, only 20% of women run around barefoot. So women should be barefoot. And it's like you're trying to equalize it, but it's like not the one thing that you can't say to help women is more women should be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Even though you're trying to help you want to be more chefs, female chefs apparently, but I don't know. It's just funny.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, it kind of got me thinking, how much of this kind of marketing are we all missing out on? You just start off with a terribly shocking thing, and then you continue talking, and it changes it. You'd be like, all old people should dye their hair red or green.
It's like posting, only 20% of women.
Marketing are we all missing out on? You just start off with a terribly shocking.
What is happening?
You continue talking, and it changes it.
Somebody's listening. Somebody's listening live.
Somebody's listening live.
Somebody's listening live.
Or I thought, man, Mike's a ventriloquist. When did this happen, and why isn't we talking about this? First of all, I want to go back.
I think it will help us a lot. We can next week we can say the Morning Laugh denies the Holocaust was a good thing.
Yeah, it's shock marketing. I don't know why we haven't done this. These are great.
How about they just go with honesty? Like, hey, it's Burger King, real meat.
It's funny you say that because they're the first ones that came out with fake meat.
Oh yeah, this is true.
Yeah. Have you? Speaking of, have you had the Impossible Burger?
Yeah, I have.
I have not.
I've tried, but it's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to.
I would say that if you don't eat meat, it tastes similar to meat. So I would,
I'm curious, what happens, say, an hour later?
Well,
is it like those Wow chips were?
It's like, oh, this is impossible.
Anyway, so I've been leaking from both sides today, and
I want to point out though that Chris, you started with Royal News and then went to Royal News. Burger King obviously is the American equivalent of
the monarchy,
of our Royal News, our monarchy here.
People pay just as much attention in America to Burger King as they do the royal family.
They do,
hands down.
I think you're right.
So,
well, I know I've never eaten at the castle, but I have eaten at Burger King. I've never eaten with the royal family, so I would say I support Burger King more than the royal family. Actually,
yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
I'll say this. This is fun fact. I have actually eaten at a palace when I was in Iraq. I got to eat it at the Awful Palace, and then
Awful Palace.
Yeah, the Awful Palace. So I don't want to brag, but this guy is pretty close to a dictator.
Were you like, I'll have the palace combo?
I like how they opened up a fast food restaurant in Saddam Hussein's palace.
Yeah,
Actually, not far from
dirt for the fight of dirt.
I'd like the mother of all wars.
This is not far from the truth. Just outside the palace, they had a Burger King stand, because that's how war is now. It's very commercialized. And then, but on the inside, I got to have a panini. I had a panini for the first time ever.
Wow,
really?
Was the palace fancy looking?
It's very fancy. It's you could tell a lot of people died for that. So it was a fun place.
So what you're saying is the palace was great, but the restrooms were terrible.
Yeah, but how was the coffee? That's the main thing. I don't know what Josh says it was very fancy, but I don't know what the threshold for fancy for Josh is. Does that just mean like things were attached, like the pictures were on the wall were framed and not just a piece of material hanging on the wall?
Oh no, these are the ceiling. It had a mural hand painted on the ceiling of horses.
McDonald's has that too.
Okay, Josh, we'll test it this way.
Right, you're right.
Mike's house, fancy, not fancy.
You've been to my house, Josh.
I mean, you can tell anything that is fancy. It's all fancy to me. I don't.
All right,
let me just boil it. I'm going to boil it down for everybody.
Are you saying I'm a dictator?
Fancy cloth napkins, not fancy paper napkins.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Not fancy.
Did you have cloth napkins with your panini?
Actually, I believe it was paper napkins. Yeah,
but they were white little surrender napkins, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, we were serving with the French. Actually, the French were serving us, but it was a whole. Never mind. Hey-o.
Real quick. Jennifer Novi says they don't serve their food on styrofoam plates, so it's fancy. That's good. That's a good standard for fancy.
That's where I would draw the line.
Yeah.
Norm Dunham says White Castle. He also says, does anyone consider the people who cook at Burger King to be chefs? I think I agree with that. That's the most shocking part of marketing.
I think they're chefs.
I will say this. There are several chefs that don't really cut it to be in the fancy restaurants, so they got to find work somewhere.
Hey, speaking of restaurants, has anybody had Mexican food recently?
Who should we ask? Do you think we should ask?
Who should we ask about
specific people here in the show about
food?
Mexican
food? I'm asking you, Josh.
Me? I'll tell you my Mexican food story. Last night, my fiance, she is actually very, very particular about stuff, and she does not like to go out to places right now with the pandemic. But last night, a tamale lady stopped by the house, and guess who bought a bunch of tamales? My fiance, and of course they were wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful, and so I was very excited. I think that's the sign of the times, is that my fiance Leslie was willing to eat stranger tamales, and I was very excited about that.
Did you get the Thin Mint ones or the other kind with the coconut?
Oh yeah. I got the thanks a lot. Those are my favorite tamales.
You just said she likes stranger tamales, like stranger tamales, or stranger like tamales from strangers,
like Stranger Things.
Because one will put you in the upside down right away.
The wrong tamale will put you in the upside down quickly.
Yeah, you'll enter a whole different world. Winona Ryder will be banging on your door. Will.
Brian, did you have something to say about Mexican food?
I do. I saw a breaking story this morning, and I was really super tired. So I know I put on there, ask me, and it's gonna seem anticlimactic at this point, but it's not. Taco Bell has announced they're bringing back the quesalupa. Yes, it's half quesadilla, half chalupa mixed into one, because apparently people have demanded it. And I don't know if you guys know what it is.
A quesalupa, I don't know.
It's a monstrosity of mankind, is what it is. So you take a chalupa, right, kind of shell or whatever it is, and then you put a quesadilla inside of it, okay, and then you take meat. Yeah. And lettuce, tomato, and
we know the ingredients.
No, and a dollop of sour cream, because you don't want,
Wait. So do they not use
fold it in half, and then you eat it like, apparently, like, because it's humongous, and
like a New York pizza.
Yes,
this doesn't surprise me. Taco Bell has been going rogue since they ever existed. They don't make Mexican food. They make whatever the heck they want, and they call it Mexican food. And I know this because I was doing a trip down in central Mexico at Pachuco. I stayed at a family's house. They said, "Would you like a gordita?" And I said, "Yeah, I love gorditas. They're great. I know them from the Taco Bell world." He said, "Okay, you want 5 or 6 gorditas?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's a lot of gorditas." Turns out gorditas are not even close to what Taco Bell makes them.
Right.
They're just flat, open little, tortilla. Small ones with chicken, spice, and cheese. That's it. So what the heck is Taco Bell doing? They're just making stuff up.
Yeah, that is, you've actually made my point for me, Chris, is that it's not Mexican food. Like, America voted Taco Bell the #1 Mexican food restaurant in the United States. Because people don't know. Living in Arizona, the place you want to go to, like the mom and pop, like the shack of a place that is just worn out, and you're like, this place is disgusting, but the food is amazing.
There are a couple places like this near us, and you have to pull off on the side of the road basically and order your food from them. But the food is great. But you're right. It's in the summer. It's too hot there, and it's because it's outside. It's just you're sitting on it. It's very much like if you go to Mexico and eat.
Yeah, Mike, back me up on this. So you go into these kind of questionable areas, really, sometimes, because it's where the good food is. But do not, right, Mike? Don't valet your car. Don't do it. Those guys aren't valets.
True story. The other day, I was with COVID. I had to start driving a certain type of Lyft, and then the other day I had this very tiny little old Mexican grandma in my car, and she's adorable. And I made her laugh, and then she goes, "Let's go get shrimp tacos." And I was like, "You know what? Let's go get shrimp tacos." So we went to, and she told me where to go. Like, there's this little taco stand in El Mirage. Best shrimp tacos of my life, and I can't stop thinking about them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to get that.
Anyway, so my long story short, I went on a date with a very old Mexican lady. I just wanted to make sure that was my big reveal.
Yeah.
All right. I think we made a love connection, guys. All right.
Okay, one last thing. Norm says they need to bring back the double-decker taco, and I agree with him, and that's why we're Americans, because we all have issues. Okay, let's move on to the royal family. Bum, bum, bum. We don't have a thing for the royal family, so I'm making the sound.
I think that was the thing. Bum, bum, bum. That's good.
God save the queen. It's the queen and Nietzsche need beat boop boop.
We should all
look at me. I'm a royal family. Yeah.
Imagine if all of us made a royal family fast food restaurant with all fake British food. We just make up. We pick their words, just like Taco Bell. We pick their words. We make up what we want. So we'll do like a crumpet, but it'll be like, we'll call it a crumpet, but it'll be 4 burgers inside of 2 mozzarella deep fried buns.
I'm gonna, yeah, that's exactly. I'm gonna have a grilled cheese sandwich with every kind of cheese in it and call it, I don't know, blood sausage.
So basically, if Taco Bell opened up a kind of like British Bell.
British Bell. There you go.
I think that Taco Bell, they open it up and it's still just Taco Bell food. They just rename it whatever they want.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'll put some ground beef. I'll put a sour cream gun shot in it. Some lettuce, tomato. Yeah, there you go. And some cheese.
Oh, you guys ready? I can't wait to get the cricket and crumpets, baby. In a taco? No.
I'd like a Big Ben combo.
So have you guys been to the restaurant here in Arizona? What's it called? Brian, help me out. It's
McDonald's.
It's Mexican Chinese food. What's Chino Bandito?
Chino Bandito.
Oh no, I've actually heard a lot about it.
It is really, really good. So it's like it's Chinese food but prepared Mexican style. So it's like
it's kind of like, Filipino too, I think though.
Yeah, it is. And there's some like Jamaican styles and stuff. But you have like
Jamaican jerk chicken or
jerk chicken in a burrito, or everything served in a Mexican style cooking. There's a orange chicken burrito, orange chicken taco.
Wow.
But it's really good food.
Now here's the best part, guys. Here's the best part. Not only do you get that wonderful meal, but at the end they give you a snickerdoodle cookie.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah. It's a good cookie. Yeah.
Go for the food. Stay for the snickerdoodle. That's not like an official slogan of theirs, but
it's the problem is you have the worst of both worlds, the Chinese and Mexican combination of food where you eat it and then a half an hour later you have to go diarrhea again.
This is true. And the only way you know when to stop is when you reach the snickerdoodle. Oh my gosh. No, I didn't just do that. Anyway.
Speaking of all of this random stuff, the royal family.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to it, Chris.
Yeah. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of CSI were on an interview with Oprah, and it has gone more viral. I've noticed this with my generation as well. I don't think anybody in my generation has actually watched the interview, but we have all been commentating on actual memes that have come from the interview. So I know tons of people that are like, yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'm like, okay, I don't know anybody's going to watch it. But yeah, it was a big thing. I think it was like one of the most watched things on CBS. And there was this thing that happened, and it became a meme. If you want to show the meme template, I thought it would be fun. We could play with this real quick.
Okay.
Oops.
Brian's gonna.
Oh, there we go.
I got it.
So this has been trending.
So the first image is the Merkel chick.
Yeah.
Saying Harry's adjusting great to America, and then a picture of Harry not looking so good.
Yes.
And we're supposed to caption that, right?
That's right. What people have been doing is they take this disgruntled look of Harry, and then they say something as if Harry were to say something negative about America or something shockingly different about America that he's not a huge fan of. So that's kind of the thing. I thought it might be fun if each of us just try something rather quickly. If anybody could do a Meghan Markle impression, and if somebody, and then all of us could do a Prince Harry impression.
I got you. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry is adjusting great to America.
Hey, look at me.
Meghan Markle.
Then this is my
Italian mafia.
This is my Harry impression. Then you guys, why did somebody put fire sauce on? Why did somebody put fire sauce on my crumpet?
That's good. That's good. All right, Josh, set us up again for another.
All right, ready? Okay, Hey, Harry is adjusting great to America.
What is a bloody quesalupa?
Harry is adjusting great to America.
My mom was in New York City one time.
Oh, gee.
Good Lord.
that is the look he would have when he says that too. That's perfect.
It's sad. It's sad.
I would say Harry's adjusting great to America, and then he'd be like, "I've already gained myself 20 pounds."
What is he, a beetle?
You became a beetle all of a sudden.
Oh, I got myself a beetle.
Take a look at me. I'm now an American.
Yeah. It is very beetle.
Hey, Josh, set me up one more time. Go.
Harry is adjusting great to America.
I can't wait to meet my father, my real father, John Travolta.
At least my father this time would be staying alive. Oh.
You know his father's alive, right?
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, God. And this has been the meme template game.
Yeah.
Hey, I have another game I want to play with you guys. I know we could talk about other trending things. We could get to it. But I figured we should make time for this game. Are you guys cool with it?
Sure.
So, yeah, you have no idea. So this is a generational game. Those watching the show knows that all four of us, our biggest difference is that, well, for one, I'm the only white guy. And then for two, we're all generationally different. So I thought it would be fun to kind of talk about, our age gaps by doing this game called Where Were You When?
Oh, great.
So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to list, and anybody watching the show can play this. You guys can comment. It would be interesting for you to comment because then I could try to figure out kind of what age you are. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say a month and a year. So it doesn't have to be the specific day, but do your best to try to figure out where were you when. Actually, I could do the day and we could just try to figure out. It's up to you. Do you want the month or the day?
I think you can mix it up a bit here.
Okay, we'll mix it up a little bit. Here we go. And I'll be the one listing it because I got to make sure I'm alive during all these. Okay. July 22nd, 1990. Where were you on July 22nd, 1990? Who'd like to go first?
I would have been 8 years old. And I would have been living in Port Deposit, Maryland.
Okay.
I
8.
I was 22 years old. I was in the second year of my business, and I was probably stuck in my office because it was 1,000 degrees outside, working in July in Arizona.
I was in Thailand or near Thailand. I was deployed on the USS Berkeley, and I remember that was a Westpac, a 6-month deployment we were on at that time, and I was somewhere near Thailand, and I remember Thailand was the main areas that we stopped in. So what was I doing? I don't know. I was watching the Tour de France. I don't know. I probably was not.
So everybody, the 8 years old, we've got working, we've got overseas. Me, I was just being born.
I had a feeling this is where that was going.
Yeah.
So yeah, but where were you?
I was in the Atlanta hospital in Atlanta, Georgia.
All right.
Yeah.
He had just arrived. His flight was late.
Were you crying, or were you what were you doing?
Yeah, what were you, a big baby? Were you a big baby?
Just led to it. I was crying. Somebody had slapped me. And literally the moment I greeted them, I said, "Hey," and I got pinched or slapped. And so,
he came out and he's like, "What's the deal with hospitals?"
Let's play again. This time I'll ask, where were you guys October 22nd, 1964? Anybody?
I was with Jesus in the before time.
I was overseas watching Tour de France.
I believe Doc Brown and I had accidentally got struck by lightning together. And anyways, we were trying to stop an assassination.
All right, we'll move forward a little bit more. 2008, the summer of 2008.
That's easy.
Summer 2008. I remember it well. In June, I turned 30.
Wow.
And they had a surprise party for me. And none of you showed up.
Man.
That was a surprise.
I was at improv rehearsal with Brian.
Wow.
I would have been in Iraq, and if it was summertime, I would have been on a small fob in the middle of Sadr City. It was me and two other medics and a little tiny fob. And long story short, I got to do some really cool stuff, and I was probably doing something really dumb.
You were inside one of those little teeny keys that you use for keyless cars? Okay.
Yeah. No, it's the ones that for like Anytime Fitness. You have to go.
Oh, one of those fobs. Okay, sorry. I
Remember how shrinking technology was all the rave? By the way, I have a correction.
For anybody who doesn't know, it was a Ford operating base. It was a very tiny camp. So if you're not familiar with the lingo.
What was your
as a correction? Chevy operating base.
What's your correction, Brian?
My correction was it was 2008, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. It was my 40th birthday.
Oh.
Yes.
I knew that.
It was my 40th birthday, and then I did an improv show, and Mike didn't show up.
Oh. Mike. Where the heck were you?
I don't know. I was probably at the other improv.
Mike was on a hiatus. Yeah.
I had two improv troops going, and I was not involved fully in either one of them.
Wow.
Mike and I were super good friends at the time, but we weren't at the level we are now.
At this point, I actually know what the nodule in his lung looks like.
Well, for me, 2008. So you guys were doing all that. 2008, I was crying.
Just being born.
In an Atlanta hospital. Somebody pinched me.
You spent a lot of time crying in the hospitals.
Yeah. No, I graduated. I had just graduated high school.
Oh, okay.
And then that was also the summer I just started stand-up comedy. My mom, who's on the who's watching the show right now,
Barb.
She took me. Yeah. Hi, Barb. Hi, Mom.
Hi,
she
Mom.
took me to a comedy club, and I performed, and I got hooked, and I was like, that's it. Now I want to become a comedian and eventually be on a morning show with 3 other comics online.
Usually when people go on stage, they don't like to use the term got hooked because that means they were pulled off stage.
Yeah.
With a hook.
I was. But I still loved it. I killed and bombed at the same time.
So let me ask real quickly. We don't have too much time left, but real quickly, what was your first on stage experience like, Josh? As a comic, as a stand-up comedian.
As a stand-up comedian, I actually prepared. I was very prepared, and it was very mediocre, but it was just good enough to make me keep coming back.
Wow.
Brian?
I'm coming off my radio show. Somebody asked me to host. I thought I was funny on the radio, not so much trying to do stand-up. I was unprepared and horrendous. I was horrendous.
I saw that.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't think you were horrendous. I was there. You did celebrity farts.
I did. Celebrity farts was good, but I was also giving away shirts. But I will say I had one joke about The Price is Right that I actually did write and did work, and still, if you change it to Drew Carey, it still works today.
What about you, Chris? You mentioned your first time, but any more details about your first time? What you remember?
Yeah, it was. No, it was decent. I was a new Christian, so all of my material was like all Christian based. So, and I was just gonna ask you guys if you remember one of your bits from your very first time. I do. I literally said, "Did you know only 12 people a year die from vending machines?" Could you imagine having that conversation in heaven with other people who died for putting their life out there for living for Jesus Christ in other countries and you're standing there like, I just really wanted a Coke. And that was like my first joke.
Good.
And
it holds up.
Anybody remember their bit? Their first bit?
I do remember several of mine, and I'm not going to share them today. But my first time on stage, I think it was same as Brian's second time, maybe, if I'm right. We put together a small show for the community, friends and family. So it was well received, but it was a little misleading because it was all friends and family. So they were very supportive. But it did definitely get me hooked. And I think we got booked from that first show. Brian and I got a booking for another show right off that. So that was
I don't remember what it was, but yeah, that's true.
You're not going to say one of your premises?
I'm trying to remember. There's a couple standout ones that Brian and I laugh about today. They were just okay. One was I saw people riding bicycles, and they were nude on their bicycles. And actually, this story came from my sister Teresa, who I think may be listening. Anyway, it was in Seattle. There were people nude on bicycles, and I thought that's awful. And I wanted to look away, but I couldn't look away because I was bike curious. Is that awful or what?
That's a joke you hear from a first time comic.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's right. That was me.
Oh. Josh, you remember?
And then I was hooked.
I got it quick.
I think mine was, man, I had some terrible, awful, absolutely stupid ones. I think one of them was like, imagine getting farted on by Jesus and having him heal you or something. It's like something.
Wow.
What? What a premise.
Yeah.
It's funny because when you first start off like doing a stand-up, like, honestly, there's nothing you should still carry on from your first time. Like no bits.
Nothing.
It's very rare to be like, oh yeah, that joke's good. No, it's usually like, nothing. Oh, first time. Okay.
I'll tell you my joke.
Yeah.
So this was my joke. It was like right around the time Bob Barker had retired from The Price is Right. So I said, Bob Barker just retired. What's he going to do? I know what he could do. He could become a greeter at Walmart. And then that way the cashiers, he'd be like, hello, hello. You have the long skinny microphone, hello, welcome to Walmart, welcome to Walmart. And then if the guys at the cash register goes, hey, Bob, how much are these bag of Doritos? Are they like $2.48? And he'd be like, higher. $2.90? Lower. Bob, just tell me the actual retail price of that bag of Doritos is $2.89. Just tell me next time, Bob. And then he'd tell everybody to spay and neuter their kid, their dog.
I remember that now, Brian. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
It's the only joke that works.
I was gonna say that's not a bad. It's not bad for
no.
That's the best out of everything that was just shared here. That for sure.
That was definitely.
Well,
I would use that. That was good.
You're too kind.
Yeah.
And just a quick 12 years later, you'd be wearing a beanie in your own house.
That's right. I'm only doing this out of solidarity for anybody else who's actually cold in the world. I'm not. I just thought I need to change up my look to pretend it's cold here.
You know what we should do? You guys have heard and I'll explain it on the show here in 2 seconds. I know we got like 15 minutes here. I'm not going to take up all 15 minutes. You three know that I have this crazy idea for a cutthroat underground comedy competition. I say we do it, and then whoever loses, so we just switch it. Instead of stealing the best jokes, whoever loses gets to absorb all of the first jokes ever written by the other comics, and they have to tell it on the next show. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
So name the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, for everybody watching, I've had this cutthroat idea where I say I think every comedian should go underground for a night. And this would be like a secret thing, so nobody would actually know, just comedians. You go somewhere, you perform in front of a non-biased group of people. That is important. You do your best material, and then basically the idea is that the winner gets to absorb all of the other comedians' jokes forever. So then you would just all of a sudden be like watching TV, and then Joe Rogan suddenly has Carrot Top's jokes, and you're like, wow, this is weird. This is weird that Joe Rogan's doing props and nobody would know, just the comedians of the world.
It's like taking the joke pink slips.
Yeah, exactly. You just absorb them and then you have to perform them. So now I'm flipping it. I'm saying, let's just take the jokes that we all wouldn't want to do.
Yeah, I like that better because it's like you have to try your best to do your worst material the best you can.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
I'm in.
Cool.
Brian has one where we all have to wear the same jacket.
Yeah, I want to do the jacket show where we all wear the same jacket. Once you're introduced, you take off, give it to the next comic, and he wears it. Really, whoever goes last, I feel sad for them, but
so it's like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, but
exactly
with a jacket.
Except it's a comedy jacket.
I
think it's got to be tweed with patches, and then they've got to be hoisted, and you also have it's got to be the perfect comedy jacket, is what I'm saying.
For sure. I love that.
It's one size fits all.
This is a quick comedy question for all of you. Is there a certain outfit that you love to wear because it really helps you? Like, for instance, my favorite thing is I love wearing denim button-ups because it reminds me of like Jay Leno in the 90s and 80s because he's like one of my favorites. So every time I wear it, I feel like I'm channeling the Jay Leno in the world. Anybody else get that?
My general consensus is nothing that's tight around my midsection.
Yeah. I early on when I was performing, I was told by another comedian that is very successful, but does a lot of corporate stuff. He said, dress in the way that you want to be hired and perform that way. So, and I wanted to do like corporate events and things like that. And it worked for me, but I usually wear a dress button-up shirt and a sport coat over the top. That's usually what I wear. I for a while wore it tucked in my shirt, not the jacket. That looks silly. I tried that, but the shirt. But now I don't. I leave it loose because tucking in the shirt for me at this weight would look awful.
So I will say that, but just to kind of piggyback on that real quick, Mike likes to wear the sports coat. He likes to have a nice dress shirt, and he likes to at least at one point spill chicken wing sauce on his shirt.
That's true. That was pre-show ritual was to make sure I spilt food on myself before the show.
Black sports coat and a buffalo wing sauce stain.
My preferred clothing is literally whatever fits me. Tablecloth. Curtains at this time. So
I noticed you have one of your shirts hanging up behind you on the wall there.
I do. If you can, that's actually my underwear. So,
well, okay. So if we were to do a show where we each pick out the other person's outfits, because I am particular, it's hard for me to perform in outfits that I don't feel comfortable in. Like, could you do it? Like, let's say, Mike James, I gave you a tank top, and I said you got to wear this.
I would do
tank top on stage. Could you do it?
Yeah,
I would do it. So speaking of that, my wife and I and our pastor and his wife had this one evening. We went out. My wife and I went to a Goodwill, and they went to a Goodwill. We had to pick out clothes for the other couple, and then we got back to their house. We had to wear those clothes to go out to dinner in, and it was ridiculous. It was the craziest. Strangest, most bizarre clothing you could ever imagine.
It's funny. Well, we should do it for a show.
I think we should do that for a show.
Go to Goodyear or go to the Goodwill and pick out each other's attire.
Yeah,
and we have to wear that.
Idea. That's really fun. And now someone else is going to take it and make a whole new show out of it.
No, listen. Here's what we'll do. We'll do it for a taping. We'll film a special, the four of us, and that's what we'll do. We'll just it'll be so random.
I love that we're going to the Goodwill to express bad will upon each other. Hey, Mike would look good in this camouflage dress. No,
this crop top shirt.
Good point here. Barb, wash it first.
Good job, Mom. Thank you.
No, Barb. No.
Guys, my mom said we have to wash it.
My mom said I had to wash it.
I gotta wash it.
Well, we're running out of time. Let's see. So there's a Rottweiler that was posing as a wolf in a Chinese zoo.
Yeah,
I'm interested in this because Rottweilers, you don't think of them as being scam artists, but the guy he snuck into the zoo and I guess he's
apparently that this particular zoo, but several Chinese zoos have mislabeled animals because people don't know what a wolf looks like. Apparently in China, I don't know, but so they have a Rottweiler there, call it a wolf, and there were some other examples. I can't remember what they were, but I think one was They had it was called a lion, but it was actually a porpoise. No, that's probably not true.
No,
I'm not sure. There were several things like that.
You know what's funny is my old radio show, The BS Factor with Brian Stephanie, not in circulation anywhere. We did a story on this 15 years ago. I believe the same zoo. They had a chow that they shaved down to be a lion and passed it off as a lion for several weeks.
That's really funny.
I mean, that's smart. Honestly.
So what other animals do you think? What other animals could they pass off as something different? Do you think?
An eel as a snake?
An underwater snake.
Well, I'll tell you right now, this is not new. Have you ever been to the Erie, Pennsylvania Zoo? They do the exact same thing. It's like cats and dogs, and then they just dress them up. I'm pretty sure.
I remember as a kid seeing a small puppy with antlers strapped to its head, passed off as a reindeer, as it was trying to pull a giant sled up a hill.
Yeah. The green man that was doing it, though. I mean, he, unbelievable.
If you took like a Australian Queensland healer or something, and you just like disheveled it, I think you've got hyena.
Okay. All right. Are we just taking places and turning them into animals now? Oh, if you take like a Pennsylvania, Erie, Queensland, New England hound, and then you just like, is that what we're doing now with dogs?
It's the same way. It's the same way Hollywood turned Arizona into Iran and Iraq for movies. It's the same thing. Close enough, right?
That's funny. Well,
Vietnam, by the way, is in North Carolina.
So I know that if someone was to put me in a zoo and pretend I was something, obviously I'm a panda. We're not.
It's a given.
What do you think you would be? What if someone were to try to pass you off as an animal in a zoo? What do you think you would be?
Well, you've heard of laughing hyenas, right? Mm-hmm. I would be sarcastic hyena. I just sit there and insult the people as they walk by.
Gonna wear that? Okay.
I think we can all say Chris would be a lion.
Yeah. The cowardly lion. Very close.
Put him up. I don't know the aggression in a cowardly lion.
If I were king. All right.
What about you, Brian? What do you think you would be?
I think I'd be like a Kevin James.
You know how they have the Kevin James exhibit at the zoos? That's what Brian would be.
Monkey's talking to me again.
So welcome to the zoo. We have ourselves. We have a lion. We have a zebra. We have Kevin James. Let me in.
Hey, look at me. I'm Kevin James.
Antics ensue.
Norm said the Chosen turned Utah into Jerusalem. This is true.
There you go. See?
So Arizona's not too far. We could totally have done it. We only have a few minutes left, not to change the subject completely. If you're watching the show and you wanted to know about the other trending topics that we did not talk about, email us personally, and we will send you about 300 words worth of the subject. But before we say goodbye and adios, let's talk about any shows coming up. Anybody?
Yeah. Michelle says she's a cougar, just to let you guys know.
Well, as always, you can check out our schedules and things at themorninglaugh.com, that website. But I have a show coming up this weekend at Stir Crazy in Glendale, Arizona, at Stir Crazy Comedy Club, stircrazycomedyclub.com.
Mike's getting ready for his dry bar special, guys. So
yeah, that's right. So I'm going to be there all weekend going through that set.
That's great.
Most of which is just talking about you three.
You're getting close, man. I'm excited for you. Anybody else?
Josh, you got anything going on?
Yeah, I got nothing going on. Please hire me. I'm poor.
Chris, on the mend.
April 3rd and 4th, I'll be doing Clean Comedy and Stir Crazy. Well, I think we've got a couple weeks.
Okay, cool. I will be here waiting for your visit at my website and my other social medias. That's what I have going on. I'm actually, real quick, I'm working on my comedy sketch album right now.
We're good. Are you ready to tell people about it, or
I'm putting it out there so that I do make sure I get going on it. I'm full on. Yes, it started. So hopefully I'll have it done. Hopefully I'll get it released in June in time for my birthday. And hopefully my dry bar special will hit sometime in June or July. We're
doing a re-recording of Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, well, I actually don't. I know I should because I'm in the biz. But what a comedy sketch album is that? Like audio?
Yeah, so it's an audio sketch. It's an old timey thing.
Ooh.
Okay. So Cheech and Chong used to do sketch albums. Adam Sandler used to do sketch albums.
Yeah.
So it's just sketch, but it's done on an audio format. So the idea is, I love it because when you're listening, you imagine what you see. This way, me as Brian video guy, I don't have to build sets and hire actors. Then I can do, because I don't know, some of you don't know, but I used to do a lot of voices when I did my radio show and all that kind of stuff. And I don't do it on stage because it's just, I don't know. I don't want to do one of those, hey, what if Jack Nicholson? What? So anyway, so that's what I'm doing. It's kind of a throwback thing, just so it's a me project, but it's also something I can put out there. So, and Chris, Mike, I have given parts to. Josh, I gave a part to, and then Chris, I have a part for you also. It's just I haven't reached out to you. So if you're willing to accept this formal offer, I will send you a script later today.
Well, I'd like to earn my part, so if I could still audition, that would be great.
That would be great. Okay. It's between you and Lou Ferrigno, but I'm leaning toward you, Chris. I'm just saying. So
good.
And that's the other thing too. I'm putting all my friends who have ever helped me in my comedy career and all that. I got a little tiny part for everybody, as much as I can possibly.
That's exciting. I love sketches. So
I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm having fun doing it. So.
And then you'll put it out on Spotify?
Yep. I'll put it out to the world.
Oh, I'm excited about that, you guys. This just in. There's gonna be a sketch comedy album.
Exclusively at Burger King.
You get a paper crown with it.
BK at the BK. Boop, 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 boop,
comedy sketch artists belong in the kitchen with their sketches.
Snitches crazy. Get sketches. That's how it works.
We have just a couple minutes, and I just feel like we owe it to our audience because we teased them about the treasure found on a beach.
Yes.
So real quickly, a woman finds $250,000 worth of treasure on a beach. Anybody want to elaborate?
I will, because this is actually super interests me. Is that it's whale vomit. And if you guys don't know, if you're the whale vomit is used in the making of perfume
and Whoppers.
And Whoppers, they make Whoppers. That's the most expensive.
Typically, you could only find whale vomit at Burger King, but now apparently you can find it on the beach.
I'm very curious. I didn't read the whole story, but I'm very curious. She came across whale vomit on a beach, $250,000 worth. But in my imagination, the vomit would just be spread out through this. Like, how would you? It's not like she found a vial of it.
Well, actually, so it's called ambergris, and it's it whales vomit it out. It's almost like a bile, but it sticks together, so it's like a big clump. And they are just floating out in the ocean, and every once in a while they end up on the beach, and then someone finds them in there. I think the most expensive was like somewhere over $1 million worth of this substance.
Wow.
And so, yeah. Nicole, she's never wearing perfume again. She's gonna hate to find out about vanilla, because that's beaver anus.
What is?
Yeah, vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't come from a vanilla bean. That's what I was led to believe.
No, but the scent of vanilla comes from beaver anus.
Josh speaks the truth. Yep. Yeah. This, by the way, that's why they call it an extract.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's easy.
You're like, I wish I could smell like vanilla, and then you like grab a beaver.
How do you find whale vomit? Are you walking along the beach?
Yeah.
It usually involves somebody tripping over something.
No, it's actually it almost looks like a rock, and you have to know what it looks like, and two, you have to know where to take it, because otherwise it's just a big piece of whale vomit.
Because you're probably thinking, well, you take it to your local whale vomit exchange, but
the
you
whale
can't
vomit
take it anywhere.
The whale vomit emporium.
This whale vomitorium, which is the Roman whales would go to.
Speaking of vomit, if you'd like to hear more of the show, you could subscribe via our podcast, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of it. Make sure you share the vomit. Others of your family and friends would love to hear.
By the way,
show.
if you have to spew in this.
If you have any topics you want us to talk about, let us know about those also.
That's right. And thank you guys so much. It's about that time. So we'll see you next week on the Morning Laugh.
See you, everybody.
Goodbye and good morning and good evening, everybody.